careful with your head because the camera is really low. Make sure to get comfortable. It's a bit wide, but with the cushion you should
all good.
manage to get. Okay.
Everything's okay?
Yeah, fine, yeah.
Hi guys.
Hiya.
Hiya, you're right.
Welcome to this interview into the van. We're now gonna drive you to Ibiza Global because you have a radio show there.
Yeah.
Is it to promote your gig from tonight High?
Yeah, I think it's to promote the gig that we're doing at High tonight and just a general mix. I think they've been getting quite a lot of people on down there, so yeah, just playing some tunes for the masses, man.
It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, be good.
Definitely.
So who's Tuff? Who's London? No, I'm just joking.
Who's Tuff? He's trying to tell.
I'm from London, he's from Yorkshire. This is true.
You're Ben?
I'm Sam.
He's
you're
Sam,
Ben
I'm
and
Ben.
you're
Yeah.
Sam, so usually I ask DJs to introduce themselves, but when there's a duo like you, I like to do differently. I like to ask you to introduce each other.
Okay.
So you're gonna introduce
Yeah.
He's gonna introduce you. You can start.
This is Sam from Tuff London.
I don't know which camera I'm looking at. And this is Ben from Tuff London, the world famous Tuff London.
What can you tell about each other?
Oh, well, to tell you how the name Tuff London came about, and that's because we used to go clubbing together in London. We used to go to all sorts of clubs. One of the clubs we used to go to was a club called Trade in London, which was like the first ever sort of after hours club. So it used to start at 4 o'clock in the morning and go on till maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was a big sort of mixed kind of gay club, and they used to play really tough house music in there. So this is where the name Tuff London came from, because Sam used to come all the way down from Yorkshire and used to say, I'm going to Tuff London, because he used to hear this tough house sound, and that's where that came from.
Inspired by tougher sounds from London, basically.
Yeah.
So the first thing I felt when I listened to your tracks was I instantly pictured myself here in Ibiza at a pool party or a daytime event.
Okay.
You know, because they've got that kind of groovy, rhythmic sound that we
we kind of just say party music.
Yeah,
really.
it's just party music, really. It's like a hybrid of tech house, techno, and party music. It's like
definitely.
It's like, it's got its own. It's got
influenced
sound.
by some of the 90s stuff that we were brought up on and stuff like that. But again, from seeing DJs at this club, we always bang on about Trade. So DJs like Steve Thomas and Daz Sound for us were big influences back then. So we kind of just picked up that sound and kind of run with it, really, and carrying on with it.
And those kind of sounds are a part of Ibiza's soul, really.
Yeah.
So is it because you've got such a strong personality that your tunes became part of Ibiza's sound signature somehow? Or is it because you can really understand Ibiza's vibes and you can turn them into music?
Do you know what we did? Is we tried to make music. When we very first started doing it, we tried to make music that was timeless. So just a great house track, a great piece of music. It wasn't trying to follow the trend of what the trendy sound was now or will be. Just a good classic piece of house music or techno or whatever it is.
And I think as well, it's undoubtedly inspired by Ibiza, because we've been coming to Ibiza for many years. So subconsciously, there's obviously elements of Ibiza music in there, because we've been coming out here and being inspired by the sounds we hear. But we might not be in the studio thinking we're going to make a piece of music that's Ibizan. But at the same time, we've obviously been inspired somewhere along the road to make that. Yes,
There's a lot of inspiration.
There's always that question. Sometimes, you know, the conversation in the studio is, would this have gone off at space?
Yes.
Would Cox have dropped this? Is this a space moment? You know, that always comes out.
Yeah, we often think that way when we play, when we mix. We picture ourselves like into space, and how would the crowd react, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's a good mindset to have, that, you know. I mean, if you're ever having a mix or you're ever making music, and put yourself in the moment, you know, would it give you goosebumps? Would it make you feel the way that you intended it to? And if it doesn't, then you've got
it's
problems.
no good. Yeah. And would you say there's like an Ibiza sound? Something specific?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
How would you describe
And there's just different types of Ibiza sound though, because you know, you've got so many different genres. You can pick out a trance track that will sound Ibizan, or a techno track that sounds Ibizan, or a house track that sounds Ibizan. Within all the separate genres, there's a different Ibiza sound, if that makes sense.
And if you needed to use words to describe Ibiza sounds, what would you
Uplifting,
say?
a little bit of
Summer.
tribal element, summer.
Summer.
It's personified by the environment that you're in. I mean, it's not very sunny today, granted, but normally, you know, it's just a track that makes you feel good in the sun. Like there's no other word for it really.
Well, do you have a formula for your production? If you have, you can tell me. I promise I will cut it.
We always think about DJs that we'd like to play the record, maybe.
Going with a theme and like with an ethos and like with a kind of like with a
And
plan.
always try to put what we call a cheer point in a record, or one or two cheer points. You know, a couple of points in a record, we're definitely going to get a cheer. And it's, you know, we want that reaction, you know.
Again, it's like you're putting yourself in the moment. You know, you're going in with a plan. We like energetic dance music. That's what we do. You know, we like those big moments, those big anthems. We don't really do the more laid back, chilled out kind of stuff. And our plan is always to we've either been inspired by a DJ we've seen, a song that we've heard on a certain label, and then we try and emulate that with our own take on things.
Okay,
so that's the kind of way
like
that
a
we work.
model or something.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we don't want to start bastardising other people's work and start like ripping them off, but
You get excited
you
by
get
something.
excited by other people,
Yeah.
and all music is inspired by other music.
Of
You know,
course.
everybody's inspired by something else. So it's you know, when you're in the studio and you've got that idea that, and you can see it coming together, and you can see it starting to work, and it's a good feeling, man. It's a good way to work as well, because it gives you a reference point when you're looking at other people's stuff. So yeah. That's basically it.
You
Roundabout
produce
way.
together, right?
Yeah.
Do you have like predefined roles? Is there?
Ben's more
something-
hands-on. He's more the engineer.
So I tend to press the buttons, and if I go down a rabbit hole of geekery, then
I'll pull him out of
Sam
it.
might pull me out.
Yeah, it's Ben's more the hands-on engineer person. We're both responsible for ideas and samples, and I'm just kind of like sat there giving my input and my ideas when Ben, as Ben's mentioned, it can sometimes go down the EQ fucking it's got to sound right. And listen, just fucking leave it
When
and
we
move
spend
on,
3
mate.
hours on the hi-hat, it's time to move
Yeah,
on.
it's time to move on, mate. So,
Okay, I
yeah.
understand, yeah. You were talking about the environment here. We all know that Ibiza is more than just the clubs and pool parties, right? They're
Yeah.
all of that nature here. You said that you've been here many times. Do you ever have time to enjoy a bit the island, to stay around?
I have a couple. I'll be honest with you, but the majority of times I've been here, I have been enjoying an environment that is
Okay.
maybe not classed as nature. It's been a little.
Although
bit,
space didn't used to have a roof.
Yeah.
So
if
that's,
that
you
was
know,
nice,
the sun did
yeah.
come
That's true.
up. So you know.
I mean, I've done it once. I've done it a couple of times actually. We've hired out villas a couple of times that have been right up in the Ibiza hills, so we've been quite secluded. And me and my friends stayed there for a number of days, and you know, we partied and whatnot. But it was also nice just to have that kind of like tranquil backdrop to when you're just chilling out. You know, there's no other sounds. There's nobody for miles. On a night, it can be a bit of a nightmare to get to there, but it's. I haven't been up trekking in the hills, to put it that way. But
You might do this week.
I might do this week actually, because I'm actually staying out for a few more days after the gig tonight with my girlfriend. And we're going to the north of the island, and the north of the island is somewhere I've never been, and I've heard all about it. It's meant to be very holistic, you know, yoga retreats and
It's
tranquil
different.
and you know, a lot of nice scenery. So I'm quite looking forward to that actually, because it's something that I'm not used to, because I'm used to staying in mucky San Ann and just eating beige food and drinking copious amounts of alcohol.
What about you? Is it the same for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've just tend to been in and out really.
Right.
You know, just like I've just play different genres and stuff, and play at different events over the years and stuff like that. So yeah, I would tend to be fly in, fly out, stay for a week of partying and kind of can't remember where I've been during that week when I leave. But yeah. I would like to come back and do the North England. It's just time and stuff though, isn't it? It's just,
you must be travelling a lot, I guess.
yeah, we're getting there.
We're getting there. We are getting there.
We're off to Bali and Australia next.
Got obviously ADE's coming up.
ADE before they're in Amsterdam.
So I'll be honest with you, like we've only been doing the Tuff London project for probably like 3 years now.
2.5, 3 years.
Yeah, 2.5, 3 years. So we're just really starting to get some momentum going. So admittedly, we're not the busiest act on the planet, but at the same time, we are starting to get some really cool stuff in the diary and some really good projects that we're working on.
For us, after 2.5 years, we're playing it high. So for us, it's a good start.
Yeah. We're only just getting started, really. So yeah, it's good, man.
Yeah, it's
good.
nice.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna ask you, with our own project Into the Wild, we produce videos of techno sets in nature, outdoor, and we look for the most beautiful landscapes we can find to do those videos.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask, do you have in mind some special place in nature, maybe?
Do you know what we were talking about this? And it's actually, I was talking about this with my girlfriend earlier. There's a place where Sam comes from in Yorkshire, which is Otley Chevin.
Yeah, Otley Chevin.
Okay.
Which I've started to go on walks in.
I was up there the other day actually.
Yeah, and it's the most panoramic view in England, in Yorkshire, and it's. I can only describe it as Lord of the Rings kind of. It's kind of, how isn't that in that film? All that
it's quite epic. There's lots of hills.
Epic.
There's lots of different, lots of contrasting colours. Very green, very brown, very grey, but beautiful. And
it's something I've only just discovered in the country that I'm from. Is
the Yorkshire Dales.
Oh my God! This is actually in the country where I live, and I never knew it existed. Didn't know about it, and it's like you've gone on holiday, but it's only an hour down the road. Amazing.
So the Yorkshire Dales is where it's at. That's where it's all going off in terms of nature and proposed dance music of it.
Well, we'll check that then.
Yeah, definitely worth a trip.
Don't know if there's many DJs up around there. We're there, but
lots of sheep.
Yeah, lots of sheep and farmers. But yeah, it's lovely.
And would you have? Could you talk of a track, one of your tracks that would fit such videos? A track with a special connection with nature, maybe? That have been inspired by nature, maybe?
What have we got? That's quite banging stuff.
I mean, the biggest.
Sending Love.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Sending Love is probably the best. Because that was like the track that really broke us, and it was kind of like
it was our first track.
It was Ibiza personified, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a big sort of Ibiza record, and it was the first track that we made, and it was just picked up on the last ever Space album.
Yeah.
It was
Carl Cox was playing
and Mark. Not everyone played it all during the summer in Ibiza, so it had that's probably got a good connection for us with Sunshine.
That's definitely the one.
Then we'll try to do that.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Would you say that nature has some part in your inspiration for creation?
I think nature's got an inspiring in every human being, because we are from nature, and anybody who doesn't appreciate nature and is inspired by that deep, that even subconsciously is lying, because that's who we are. But at the same time, we don't really go into fields, and
I think the older you get as well, the more you start to appreciate the simple things like nature that are around you.
I wouldn't say it's direct inspiration. We wouldn't say, oh God, right, we're in this really nice scene, or we're up at Otley Chevin and it's going to inspire me to write a piece of music. However, subconsciously, I think it inspires you as a human being.
There's always that sun coming up in the morning vibe, though.
Yes.
When you write a record, you sometimes think, "Oh, this is perfect for just as the sun comes up in the morning."
Yeah.
You say you're at a festival and the sun starts to come up in the morning, and it's that time there, and you think, "Well, this is or last record of the night." When the sun's just risen and all that kind of stuff.
Kind of connection.
Yeah, there's definitely a thing with that.
The moment tracks.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, thank you very much for answering those questions.
No problem. No problem.
No problem.
I thought you said there was a problem. So.
No problem at all.
What can we wish you for the future?
You can wish us all the health and goodwill and all the biggest gigs in the world.
Yeah, obviously.
What have we got coming up? We've got a release on Ultra coming up.
Yeah, another one on Tool Room.
Another release on Tool Room. and yeah, a couple of vocals we're recording at the moment for just new releases and stuff like
We're
that.
busy in the studio. You can catch us at ADE. We're doing Todd Terry and Friends on the Friday the 18th. We're at Tom Starr's party on the 19th. We've got the Australia tour coming up. A few other
Bali.
Bali. A few other
Should be
UK
good.
bits. So yeah, just check our social media, which is Tuff London Music. Just search that on everything but Pinterest. And which is a bit stupid really, because Pinterest is probably quite related to nature, so we should probably pick that up. But yeah, you can search Tuff London Music and check us out. And thank you very much for having us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was lovely to have you.
No worries.
Thank you.
Cool.
See you around. Bye.
Bye.